Over on the lake and found a house we liked, and here we are.
Here you are.
Yeah.
You've been here how long?
Just about 4 years.
And you're here with your daughter, your wife, and your cat.
My wife, Rebecca, and my daughter, Sabella. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Now, you're the president of Chamber of Commerce.
I am.
People say, well, what's a Chamber of Commerce do? What do you do? What's it there for?
Our mission is to promote the existing businesses in the area, to facilitate co-op advertising, to do things just to support the businesses here in our community. We do things such as First Fridays, which we do along Main Street, and it brings people out extended hours into the businesses they might not normally have the chance to get into.
Well, yeah, okay.
We do our local farmers market, which is
terrific.
Right
now,
wonderful.
As we speak.
Going on right now. So if you have a chance to get down there, this is a great time to get out there. The produce is terrific right now.
The Amish bread, drive you mad. It's
That's
so
right.
good.
Oh, those donuts are
unbelievable. Those donuts.
But we use that as an incubator for some of the small businesses that haven't that don't have the chance to actually have a physical location, or they're looking to do other things, and they can have a small stand there and really see if people are interested in their product. And
farmers markets all over.
That's right.
What's it cost to have a small stand?
Right now, we have two different ways you can do it. You can become a member, and it's $100. There's a $100 deposit for the season. That gets you a prime location, and that's refundable as long as you show up every week throughout the season.
So it's free?
It is. If you come just for the week, there's a $5 charge.
Oh, okay.
So it's very minimal compared to some of the others.
So if you join, free.
That's right.
If you put up $100, just for what's that, for damage or what?
Well, the idea is that we want to get the same vendors out there week in and week out, so that people know what to expect when they come out there, and then that's our way to.
So if you don't show up, they're going to charge you.
So if you don't show, you get 2 weeks that you don't have to show up, and after that And we were rated one of the top 10 farmers markets in the country by the American Farmland Trust last year.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it. It's really big and beautiful, and the food is fantastic.
It is.
Can you beat it? The fresh corn's almost over, though, Tony.
It is. But
it's almost over.
The peaches are still incredible.
Yeah. Oh, sure. The peaches and the cucumbers aren't bad.
That's
you know, you never leave your car unlocked on Main Street in Westfield during the summer, because it'll be full of cucumbers when you get back. Or if not, there'll be zucchini in it.
Hey,
and you might have a litter of kittens, too. A lot of kittens.
There's worse things, right? And speaking of the Cat Rescue has a booth out there, too, so if you need a cat.
I noticed they did. And the cats are
one.
Virtually free. All you do is pay for the vaccinations, the fixing, and all that. It's peanuts.
That's right.
Dr. Rogers, thank you. There's a Dr. Rogers, new vet in town. And he does it for a very nominal amount. And you can have a beautiful cat all vaccinated with all fixed and everything. Peanuts. $30, $35, something ridiculous. All right, we're sitting here with Tony Piscoli, and we're talking a little bit about the local area, about the farmers markets, about Barcelona, and just things in general. Anybody wants to call in, our number is 753-JACK, J-A-C-K, or just 753-5225. And Mort, I see somebody is trying to get in. The light is flashing. Mort goes to sleep. This is his sleep time, and so he just nods off.
That's all right.
All right. Tony, back to Barcelona. You know, it has quite a history. During the early days, colonial days, it was a main drag, because they used to go right down the lake, and you sail down it, or they have a nice trail along the lake where the Indians used to go, and the French used it, and the English used it, and Westfield was called at that time Crossroads, because it is a crossroads with the great central part of the United States, because all they had to do was get over the hill, about a 3-mile hump, and that was it. They could take them up on muleback or whatever. They could go on up. They could do anything they wanted to, but they had to get to the Lake Chautauqua. Then they could go down Lake Chautauqua, and they could come down from Lake Erie from anywhere in the country. I mean, way west of here, from Chicago, wherever.
Sure.
And they could come down in boats, bring their loads down, take it over the hill, portage it. That's why it's Portage Trail. Yeah. And then go down Chautauqua Lake, enter into the the river down below, into finally the Ohio River, and finally the Mississippi River, and they could get anywhere to the interior of the country.
Right.
Which is why it was called the Crossroads. Barcelona was it. Hello, caller. We got another couple of callers here. What's up?
Good morning, Reed. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. What's happening?
Not much. One question. I know in Mayville the Mayville Chautauqua Chamber of Commerce puts on music in the park. Does the Westfield Barcelona Chamber of Commerce do that, or is there another one that does that down in Westfield?
They have concerts in the gazebo.
We do have, there are concerts in the gazebo that's put on by the Village of Westfield. We also have, the farmers market has live music throughout the season. We also have the art in the park throughout the season.
And we have the big art fair.
That's right.
Arts and Crafts
The Arts
Fair,
and Crafts Festival.
which I helped
Which
start
the Y
with Linda
does now.
Carlson. She got it going.
Am I answering your question?
Does that follow it? Okay, go on. Thank you, caller. Send me a stamped envelope. I've got $5 off twice at the Lakeview for you. And I have to give you some, too. All guests get some. Now, I wanted to mention the fact that somebody else is trying to get in. I wanted to mention the fact that the Barcelona used to have a great, big, long pier. It's gone now. But it was a huge pier. It was almost a fifth of a mile out, they tell me. And the rock is still there. The divers can see it when they go under, but ordinarily people can't see it. And there are 500,000 ships or something like that, boats that have been lost out on Lake Erie, and a lot of big wrecks out there. It's a lot of fun.
I know there are diving tours that go out of there.
Yeah. Okay, let me think. You know, one of my callers just called in and said, where was the meditation today? Well, we got kind of wound up a little bit. But here's a little meditation for you, caller, and everybody else. Give yourself a little time every single day and focus on something beautiful and different. Look at this beautiful piece of wood. Driftwood along the beach. Barcelona. Actually, Tony, that was along the rails to trails. Going across the Portage Road that we were talking about.
Okay.
And you know, old wood is still beautiful, no matter what it is. That was an old rail, and they've taken over, and I want to thank certain special, one of the people who really got it going was our Commissioner of Health, Bob Burke, Dr. Robert Burke. He really got into this, and now we've got rails to trails, old railroad beds that really aren't being used, but they are nice, clear paths through the wilderness. They're straight, and they're wonderful to hike on, and to even some people snowmobile on them. Some people take their little three-wheelers out. But at any rate, it's a lovely, lovely thing to have in Chautauqua County, these beautiful paths through the wilderness. And I want to thank a lot of people, the scouts, and the snowmobilers and everything else. They clear it. They keep it clean so you can go through. We're sitting here with Tony Piscoli, just talking about things in general in Chautauqua County, and the beautiful Rails to Trails just came up, and you saw one of the old rails. Those rails are gorgeous. Incidentally, they still have some of the rails along the side of the railroads. These are railroads that haven't been used for a century, well, for a long time anyway. Nobody remembers the JWNW.
No, it's before my time.
It was a trolley that went to Jamestown and to Northeast and to Westfield, and it was it was called the JWNW because it was Jamestown and Westfield. No, it wasn't really. It was something else. But at any rate, they said Jesus walked. No wonder. JWNW. All right, now we're talking about Barcelona Chambers of Commerce in general. Now, tell me something, Tony. If you were to talk somebody into coming up here in Chautauqua County as a member of the Chamber of Commerce, what kind of business would you tell them to go into? Not restaurants, I might add. Restaurants are a dead business. If you open a restaurant right now, you're guaranteed you will lose everything. You lose your shirt and everything you had.
Well, I'll keep that in mind.
Well, you already opened. You have a following. But anybody who doesn't have a following, the very thought of developing a following, when major restaurants, Village and the Green, among others, in New York, major restaurants are folding up round everywhere because one of the first things people do is they can cut their restaurants. They can cut going out for dinner.
Sure.
And so that is a real hardship. So if you have a long-term following, you might be able to survive. But if you open a restaurant, you don't have a following, you're going to be sitting there day after day with an empty restaurant until you decided you spent enough money, wasted enough money, and you quit, and you go out.
That's not a lot of fun.
But
to answer your question, I'm not sure I could give you an exact business. I think it's really having an understanding for your market and looking what your individual area needs and wants. I think sometimes people get focused on doing things the way they were, or becoming nostalgic about trying to recreate something that was, and there might be a reason that doesn't exist anymore. And really adapting to what people are looking for now is, I think, the key if you're looking to start a business.
Okay, well, we'll talk about some of the things you can do. We do have another call. You want to take it? Okay,
absolutely.
We'll take it. Good morning, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for waiting.
Okay. I live on the lake.
Yeah.
Just east of Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering how we're going to be affected by all this various invasions of other species of fish, etc., that are threatening our lake. And I wonder what can be done about it. It seems like every month there's another scare about some organism that's going to deplete our fishing and hurt the lake. So I wonder if the gentleman could answer some of those questions.
How about that, Tony? You worry about that?
I do worry about it, and we have a very active harbor commission in Westfield, and those are the types of things that they focus on. Little out of my particular scope, but if you get the chance to get down there and speak with Jock, I'm sure he'd be able to.
With who?
Jock, the harbor master down in Westfield. He would be able to give you more information than I'm probably able to.
Okay, they do have, caller. We've had the invasion of the mussels. What do they call those mussels? The rotten mussels. They go everywhere, all over the place.
Yeah.
They came in, and the fish found out they could eat them. So
well, there you go.
that
takes
helps.
care of itself.
But then we had the goby, which is a little kind of eel-like fish, very small,
I do.
and they're all over the place. And they were afraid they were going to eat all the eggs and all the small fish that are developing, the bass and the perch and the everything else, pike, especially the walleye. Well, it turns out it took 5 years for the actual development of a taste for the goby. Now the pike and the bass and the perch and everybody, they eat gobies all over the place.
These things work themselves out.
So there is madness in nature, but there's a little format that works out here too, caller.
Well, could you answer another question?
Sure.
What can be done to prevent the kind of tragedies that happen, it seems, every summer, and right in our area, that someone drowns, and it's certainly deplorable. Can something be done more?
What would you do? Besides banning swimming, which, I mean, you got to have policemen there all the time if you're trying to.
Right, and our the police force does monitor that area regularly. I hate to say it, that some of it is personal responsibility. You have to ask people to, if they're drinking or doing other things, not to enter the water, and people don't always use the best judgment when they're doing those things. But the best we can do is to monitor those areas and post signs as we have, and really continue to watch the situation.
It's a sad thing that it seems to happen every summer, almost regularly.
Yeah, we just had drowning, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
We did, yeah. I think with any body of water of that size, those things are going to happen, as unfortunate as it is, and as much as we don't like to see it, accidents like that will occur.
One of the things I've noticed is they put up some new